Have you ever wondered why sometimes a woman seems drawn to you before you even speak a word? It's not your clothes, not your money, not even your face. It's something beneath all of that. A presence, an energy that radiates from you before your mouth even opens. And here's the truth: most men never grasp. Women feel your energy the way you feel the weight of silence in a crowded room. They notice when you're restless, insecure, or needy. They notice when you're calm, centered, and unshaken. And that unspoken difference determines attraction long before you think you've made a move. Imagine you're at a bar. A guy next to you is dressed sharp, laughing loud, buying drinks. He's performing, and yet no one's paying him the attention he thinks he deserves. Meanwhile, a man sitting quietly, leaning back, relaxed, not forcing anything. He barely says a word, but women glance his way, curious. You've seen it happen. Maybe you've felt the frustration of being the one trying hard while another man, without effort, pulls eyes in his direction. That's the raw power of energy. It can't be faked. It leaks out of your body language, your eyes, the pauses between your words. But here's the trap: most men destroy their own energy without realizing it. You text her too much. You explain yourself too quickly. You overreact when she withdraws. And each time you do, she feels it not as love, not as care, but as pressure. Your energy becomes heavy, clingy, suffocating. And what do women do when they feel suffocated? They retreat. They create distance. Suddenly, she's not sure what she wants. She stops answering with the same warmth. She tests you with silence, and you panic, throwing more energy at her, begging without words for her to validate you. That's when she knows she has power over you. You've probably lived this cycle. She starts strong, seems excited. You feel the spark. But as soon as you invest everything into her thinking this will lock her in, her desire evaporates. Why? Because you killed the energy of mystery, the energy of distance, the energy that made her want to chase in the first place. Women don't fall for men who give them everything too quickly. They fall for men whose energy makes them feel slightly unsettled, intrigued, and challenged. And here's what makes it brutal: she doesn't even consciously know she's doing this. Attraction isn't a thought, it's an instinct. She feels it in her body the way you feel heat from fire. She doesn't say, "I like him because he's detached." She just finds herself replaying the moment you didn't text back right away. She wonders why your calm silence makes her uneasy. She leans in because you lean back. That's the unspoken language of energy. If you want to reclaim this power, you have to change how you carry yourself. Stop chasing validation in her reactions. Stop over-explaining. When she withdraws, don't chase. Match her distance with calm indifference. If she plays hot and cold, don't melt and don't burn. Be steady, unshaken. Every time you choose stillness over panic, your energy grows heavier in the room. You stop being the man trying to convince, and you become the man she wants to decode. Think about this in practice. You send her a message, and she doesn't reply for hours. Most men feel anxiety rise. They double text. They scroll her social media. They wonder what they did wrong. That reaction bleeds weakness. The smarter move: put your phone down. Go handle your business. Let her come back to your energy instead of smothering hers with neediness. The silence between messages is not empty. It's where attraction breathes. Or picture this: you're on a date, and she starts talking about other guys in her life. Most men would instantly compete, reassure her, or show jealousy. Don't. Smile slightly. Change the subject. Show her that you're not threatened, that your world doesn't collapse at the mention of another man. That single moment of calm indifference creates a shift. She realizes she can't control your emotional state, and that realization is the seed of respect. Attraction isn't about doing more, It's about being less reactive. It's about holding your ground when she tries to imbalance you. It's about letting your energy speak before your words ever do. Because in the end, she doesn't remember every clever line you said. She remembers how she felt standing next to you. Did she feel smothered? Or did she feel drawn in? Did she feel your need? Or did she feel your presence? Now ask yourself, have you ever noticed her attraction fade the moment you started trying harder? Have you been the guy who chased silence with more words? Or have you ever caught yourself over-explaining, hoping to prove your worth, only to feel her slip away anyway? You think attraction is built in what you give her, your effort, your attention, your loyalty. But what if I told you it's built in what you withhold? Women don't consciously say this out loud, but they feel it the more a man withholds his energy. The more their mind starts to circle around him, the more you rush in, the more they push you out. It's the paradox no one teaches men because it sounds unfair, even cruel. But in reality, it's not about cruelty, it's about polarity. Masculine energy creates attraction when it remains steady, contained, and self-sufficient. Have you ever been in a moment where she's distant, maybe pulling away, and you thought, if I just show her how much I care, she'll see I'm different? You probably poured in texts, phone calls, reassurances. And what happened? She didn't come closer. She went colder. She may have even said, I just need space. That wasn't random. That was her body reacting to the flood of your insecure energy. Attraction suffocates when you beg for it. Now imagine the opposite. She withdraws, and instead of chasing, you hold. You don't argue. You don't collapse. You keep moving with your life. You smile when you see her, calm, collected, almost as if her mood has no power over your state. What happens then? Suddenly she notices you again. Her mind starts asking, why didn't he react? Why isn't he trying to pull me back? What's going on in his world that I don't know about? That curiosity is the oxygen of attraction. And here's where the psychology bites deeper when a woman senses that you are not shaken by her withdrawal. She realizes she cannot control you through absence. Most men break when she pulls back. That's why she does it. It's a subconscious test. She wants to feel, is his energy strong enough to hold, or does it crumble? The men who crumble become forgettable. The men who hold steady become unforgettable. Think back to school, to a crush who seemed just out of reach. Remember how your mind spun endless stories about her. Why did she stay in your head so long? Because she never gave you certainty. That uncertainty is what hooked you. Women operate the same way when it comes to men. Certainty too soon kills desire. Mystery keeps it alive. But you don't build mystery with gimmicks. You build it by mastering your energy, by refusing to leak every thought, every feeling, every fear onto her lap. Here's where most men fail. They think silence means she'll forget them. So they rush in to remind her, to hold her attention. But silence doesn't erase you. It multiplies you in her mind if you've planted the right seed. It's like a song that plays louder after it stops. She replays your calm tone, the way you leaned back, the way you didn't chase. That's where attraction lingers in the replay, not the performance. Strategically, this means you have to retrain your instincts. The moment you feel panic rising when she doesn't reply, when she cancels plans, when she's cold, you must treat that as your battlefield. That's where men lose or win. Most lose by rushing to fix, by pouring out explanations, by demanding clarity. The stronger path is indifference, not fake indifference, real, lived indifference. You must show her that your world is already full, already steady, with or without her. Picture this scenario: you're sitting across from her and she sighs, looking at her phone, distant. Your old instinct would be to ask, Is everything okay? Did I do something wrong? That's weakness. It places her above you, begging for reassurance. Instead, imagine you stay quiet, lean back slightly, and let the silence hang. You sip your drink. You let her energy be her problem, not yours. And eventually, she feels the weight of her own withdrawal, and she leans back in, just to break that silence. That's how your energy pulls her instead of your words pushing her. The cost of failing here is high. Every time you overreact, every time you chase, you bleed away your presence. You become forgettable, and worse, you become easy to manipulate. She learns quickly that she can control you with distance, with silence, with jealousy. And from that moment on, you're not her desire, you're her puppet. But when you pass these tests, something changes. You become the man she respects, even when she's frustrated with you. You become the man she desires even when she's trying to resist. Your energy shifts from being a beggar to being a magnet. And that shift doesn't just change how she treats you, it changes how every woman perceives you. Because women talk, women notice, and women can sense a man who doesn't break under the pressure of female games. Now think carefully, when was the last time you crumbled under her silence? How often do you mistake over-explaining for connection? And deep down, do you believe you'd have the strength to sit calmly through her withdrawal without reacting? You've been told your whole life that if you want a woman to love you, you need to give her more time, more effort, more honesty, more of your heart laid bare. And yet, the harder you try, the colder it often gets. That contradiction eats at you, doesn't it? You ask yourself, what else can I do? Why isn't it enough? But here's the sharp truth. It's not about what you do. It's about who you are when you stop doing. Your energy is either rooted or restless. Rooted energy feels calm, deliberate, unshaken. Restless energy feels desperate, rushed, unsure. Women don't need to hear your words to know which one you're radiating. They feel it in your posture, in your pauses, in how much space you take up in the room. That's why sometimes you'll see a man who doesn't talk much, doesn't try hard, but women still orbit him. His energy tells a story before he even opens his mouth. And here's the hidden mechanism. Attraction grows in tension, not in comfort. Men who try to make a woman comfortable too soon by dumping their emotions, confessing love after 2 dates, or trying to prove loyalty before she's earned it, don't build attraction. They dissolve it. Comfort without tension feels like friendship. Tension without comfort feels like obsession. But the sweet spot, a grounded balance where she feels safe with you yet slightly unsettled, always reaching for more of what you don't fully give. Think of it like a flame. If you put your hand directly on fire, it burns and repels you. If it's too far away, you forget it's there. But just close enough to feel the heat without being consumed, that's where you keep reaching for it. That's the way your energy should feel to her present, undeniable, but never smothering. Now, let's get tactical. How do you build this energy in real life? It starts with your body. Stop fidgeting. Stop leaning in too far. Stop letting your eyes dart around for her approval. Root yourself. When you sit, take up space comfortably. When you speak, slow down. When silence comes, don't rush to fill it. Every pause, every controlled breath tells her you're not desperate to keep her engaged. She must earn your attention as much as you earn hers. Next comes your responses. Women will test you, often without realizing it. She might bring up an ex, flirt lightly with another man, or pull away just to see what you'll do. Most men either get jealous or plead for reassurance. Both destroy attraction. The stronger play is neutrality, not forced poker face neutrality, but real composure, the type that says, I know who I am, I know what I bring, nothing shakes me. When she sees that, something shifts inside her. Respect replaces doubt, curiosity replaces control. And let's expose another trap over investing too early. You meet a woman, you feel sparks, and suddenly you're planning your life around her, cancelling plans, adjusting your schedule, giving her gifts, over-prioritizing. What you think shows commitment actually tells her I don't value my own world enough. I need yours to complete me. That energy is poison. The cure: keep your frame, keep your mission, keep your routine. Let her adapt to your rhythm, not the other way around. That doesn't mean being selfish, it means being immovable. Women are drawn to men who don't lose themselves in pursuit of them. That's why she respects the man who stays focused on his work, his fitness, his friends, his life, even when she's around. Not because she wants less attention, but because she wants to feel she's stepping into the gravity of your world, not dragging you out of it. Your energy expands when your world is full, and it contracts when she becomes your only source of meaning. Ask yourself honestly, how many times have you cancelled your own priorities just to accommodate her? How many times have you felt guilty for not replying fast enough, as if your entire worth rested on her immediate approval? And more importantly, how much stronger would you feel if you didn't? Because here's the final truth of this part. Women don't fall for what you hand them. They fall for what you make them reach for. They fall for the man who doesn't collapse into their moods, who doesn't rearrange his soul just to please them. They fall for the man who is already whole, already unshaken, already complete without them, and who lets them step into his world, if they're worthy. So think about it. Have you ever given up your own center just to hold on to hers? Did it ever work, or did it only make her slip further away? And deep down, do you fear that if you stopped giving so much, she'd lose interest, or do you suspect that's the very thing that would ignite it? You've probably noticed this pattern in your own life. When you stop caring so much, when you pull your energy back, suddenly she leans in. The very moment you detach, she texts. The moment you stop begging, she wants to meet. It feels almost unfair, almost manipulative, like the universe is playing games with you. But it's not unfair. It's nature, it's psychology, it's polarity at work. Women are not drawn to the man who bleeds himself dry to prove worth. They are drawn to the man whose worth speaks without words, whose energy commands without asking. Think about the times you've seen her lose interest right after you opened your heart too quickly. Maybe you confessed feelings too soon, thinking honesty would win her over. Instead, she grew colder. Or maybe you rearranged your schedule to fit hers, thinking it would make her feel special. Instead, she cancelled anyway. Each time you overgave, the balance tilted. Your energy told her, I need you more than you need me. And once that signal is clear, attraction dies. This doesn't mean you never show interest. It means you show it from abundance, not from lack. A man grounded in his own center doesn't chase. He allows. He doesn't beg. He invites. He doesn't prove. He lets her discover. That subtle shift changes everything. Picture this: you're on a date, and she's checking her phone. The insecure man would panic, thinking, she's bored. I need to entertain her. So he talks faster, tells more stories, leans in desperately. His energy screams, don't leave me. But the grounded man, he doesn't fight for her attention. He continues enjoying his drink, his food, his presence. His energy says, I'm already whole. Your attention is welcome, but not required. Do you see the difference? One drains, one attracts. Another scenario, she cancels plans last minute. The reactive man explodes or sulks. texting long paragraphs about respect and feelings. The steady man simply replies, "All right, let me know when you're free," and goes about his life. He doesn't fight, he doesn't beg, he doesn't punish. His energy is unshaken, and here's the paradox: the more unshaken you are, the more she questions herself, not you. Because here's what women deeply crave but rarely admit: a man who cannot be controlled by their moods. A man whose attention feels earned, not automatic. A man who treats his energy like a treasure, not a faucet left running. When she feels that from you, she adjusts, she invests more, she respects more, and respect is the soil attraction grows in. But there's a darker side to this. If you fail to master your energy, you become easy prey. Some women, consciously or unconsciously, use withdrawal as a weapon. They pull back, not because they've lost interest, but because they want to see how much control they have. If you panic, they know they own you. If you collapse, they know they can manipulate you. From then on, every silence, every delay, every test is not about attraction, it's about domination. And once that dynamic sets in, you've already lost. The only way to break that cycle is with indifference, real indifference, not cold cruelty, not bitterness, but the calm recognition that you are the prize, too, that you can walk away, that your energy is never up for auction. This isn't about pretending, it's about living it, because when a woman senses that your life is full without her, her only choice is to earn her place in it. This requires discipline. It requires you to hold back when every cell in your body wants to chase. It requires you to breathe when silence feels unbearable. It requires you to sit in the discomfort of not knowing and trust that your grounded energy is doing more than your words ever could. Most men can't do this. That's why most men are forgettable. But the ones who can, they become the men women talk about years later. The ones who didn't flinch. The ones who didn't beg. The ones whose silence carried more weight than another man's 1,000 words. That's the energy you must embody if you want unspoken attraction to work in your favor. So tell me, have you ever been tested by silence and failed? Do you know the exact moment when you gave your power away? And if you were to face that same test again tomorrow, would you have the strength to hold still instead of breaking? Attraction is not something you chase, it's something you radiate. And that radiation doesn't come from words, or money, or flashy gestures. It comes from how you carry yourself when everything around you tries to shake you. Your calm in chaos, your silence in noise, your refusal to bend when she expects you to. That is the essence of masculine energy. And here's the paradox that most men never learn: the less you try to convince her, the more convincing your presence becomes. Think of the men you've seen who always have women orbiting them. It's not always the richest, or the best looking, or the loudest. Often it's the man who seems least invested in proving himself. He stands where he is, steady, self-contained. He doesn't lunge forward when she leans back. He doesn't over-explain when she questions. He doesn't break rhythm when she tests. His energy whispers, "I don't need you, but I choose you if you're worthy." That whisper is louder than any desperate shout. This is why women linger in the presence of men who don't collapse. She may roll her eyes, she may get frustrated, she may even accuse you of being distant. But deep down, she respects it. Because she feels something she can't feel around men who crumble safety. Not safety in comfort, safety in strength. Safety in knowing that if life shakes, you won't. That's what makes her lean closer, even when she doesn't understand why. But let's cut deeper. Why do most men fail to hold this energy? Because the need for approval runs their life. You've been conditioned to believe that if you don't prove yourself, you'll lose her. So when she pulls back, you scramble. When she tests, you overcompensate. When she withholds, you double down. And in that moment, you tell her exactly what she needs to know. You're dependent on her response. And dependency is the death of attraction. So what's the strategy? It's not playing games. It's building a frame so strong that no game affects you. When she cancels, you don't beg, you reschedule if you want, or you move on if you don't. When she flirts with another man, you don't lash out, you smile, because you know no one can replace you. When she withdraws, you don't panic, you lean back further, and she feels the gap more than you do. These are not tricks. They are expressions of discipline, of mastery over your own energy. And this discipline doesn't just affect women, it changes how men see you too. When you walk into a room with this presence, other men sense it. They don't talk over you, they don't test you the same way, because energy isn't gendered, it's universal. The man who masters it becomes undeniable everywhere. But here's the cost. To embody this, you must sacrifice your neediness. You must let go of being liked, of being constantly validated, of winning her approval every second. You must be willing to lose her rather than lose yourself. That's the hardest truth most men never face. You cannot both cling and command. You must choose. And if you choose to cling, you'll always be at the mercy of her moods. But if you choose to command your own energy, even if she leaves, you stay whole. And wholeness is what makes the next woman want you even more. Women don't break men with silence, they reveal men who are already fragile. Women don't kill attraction by testing, they expose where attraction was weak to begin with. Your job is not to stop her from testing. Your job is to become unshakable, so her tests collapse before you do. That's when she stops testing as much. That's when she starts investing more. Because deep down, she doesn't want a puppet, she wants a rock. And if you're that rock, she will build her world around you. So let me ask you, man to man, how much of your life have you wasted chasing instead of standing still? How many times have you traded your presence for her temporary approval? And right now, in this moment, are you ready to cut the leash of neediness and step into the quiet power of a man whose energy speaks louder than words? She didn't break you. She revealed what you were too afraid to protect.